I didn't want to end up like this, and I didn't want to diet and exercise like this. I ate only meat for 433 days. And in this video, I'd like to share what led me to eating meat only, what has happened, and what's in store for the future. Please do me a massive favor and smash like, and also please click subscribe. This really helps out my channel, and I'm grateful for your support. So to paint the full picture about what has happened, we need to go back a few years. When I was 17 years old, I had a stroke, and it was the result of a basilar artery aneurysm hemorrhaging while I was asleep. Fortunately, the bleeding stopped and I was able to get care, and over the next few months it was resolved. But having had the stroke, I was now left to live my life with some residual issues. Issues like weakness on my right side and a lack of coordination. Having experienced the stroke and the residual issues, this led to a worsening of the anxiety that I already had been feeling in my life. This anxiety kind of worsened and became a mild form of depression. Over time, the mild depression morphed into mild alcoholism. The functional depression became functional alcoholism. I never really got over either. The existing depression coupled with the alcoholism, including the fact that I got into a state of almost uncontrolled eating, worsened the depression. And while I would go through bouts of dieting throughout my life, that uncontrolled eating and the alcoholism was always present. And things came to a head for me when I saw the doctor in June last year. The doctor told me I was pre-diabetic and the alcohol needed to stop. He prioritized the alcohol component as the major issue and wanted to put me on a drug which would turn off the alcohol intake simply by making me violently ill whenever I touched alcohol. And this scared me a lot. I knew I had a problem with eating. I knew I had a problem with alcohol, but I really didn't like the thought of having to be reliant on drugs. And so I asked him to give me some time. Give me some time to try and work this out for myself. And at that point, it really hit home. I needed to do something that would give me self-control. And so I resorted to the only thing I'd known in my life that could give me that self-control, and that was low-carb or keto dieting. And as far as self-control goes, it worked. In a week or so, in combination with some changes to my routines, I had much more self-control and I was in a much better position in my head. I hadn't had any alcohol, and the only carbohydrate I'd eaten in that time was some vegetables. But I now faced another problem which would inevitably lead me to the carnivore diet. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the problems that led me to the carnivore diet were bathroom related. So in the 433 days that I've been eating meat only, what has happened? So firstly, let me explain. When I say meat only, I'm actually talking about two things: ground beef and eggs. So my diet is 100% animal based. And so I now eat 2 meals a day. And those meals look like this: 10 eggs in the morning, 500 to 600 grams, or about a pound of ground meat, and about 6 eggs and the same amount of meat for dinner. And that ground meat is made up of 40% pork, 60% beef. I've lost 32 pounds, and that weight came off in the first few months. I've maintained that weight loss without having to worry about how much I'm eating each day. My energy levels are much higher than they've ever been, and I can accomplish so much more than when I was eating a regular diet. I don't feel tired anymore, and my sleep is so much better. I can sleep the same amount or less and still feel that I'm getting more sleep than before. And not only more sleep, but better quality sleep. My gums and teeth have improved. The slightest knock on my gums would cause them to bleed. I couldn't use floss for fear of having bleeding gums. I couldn't brush too hard, worried about the same problem. I no longer have bleeding gums. It doesn't matter how hard I brush my teeth. It doesn't matter if I use floss. My teeth feel stronger. I don't feel the need to brush them all the time. And they aren't sensitive anymore. I can drink ice cold water and I don't react anymore. A year and a half ago, there is no way I could do that. My skin is improved. It's not inflamed like it was before. And I don't have red patches under my eyes like I used to. I had arthritis in my left knee. That's gone. I was struggling to walk before. It felt like bone on bone as I was walking down the street. Even when I was sitting down, there was that ever-present feeling of having pain in my knee. And when I had to navigate stairs, forget it. Now there's no pain, I no longer think about it, and I can run up and down the stairs. Where before I would have had to go up the stairs holding the handrail and turn to the side so that I had the least chance of bending my knee too much, now I can get up the stairs, no handrail required, taking the stairs 2 at a time. Just like my teeth, my nails are stronger. And one downside I have found is my nails grow way too quick, faster than they ever have. And a massive thing that has improved for me is related to the issues I had following the stroke. As I mentioned, the stroke left me with a weaker right side and balance and coordination issues. Now, while those things are still there, in the last year and a half, it has improved to the point that I feel my life is completely different. Not a before stroke and after stroke, an after stroke and a carnivore after stroke. The strength I have in my right side is also improving, which I guess is helping with the balance. And all over, I'm getting muscle gains that I never experienced before in my life. And a big one for me this year was going through winter without having to worry about eczema. The improvements I've seen with my skin also extend to no longer having to suffer eczema during winter. So in years gone by, winter is so dry in Japan, I would wake up and I would start instantly scratching behind my knees or scratching my sides because it was just so itchy, so dry and so itchy. And I haven't experienced that at all this year. Eating a carnivore diet has been life-changing. And if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely should. Give it a try for 90 days. You don't have to commit to it forever. Just commit for 90 days. In 90 days, your life is going to change so much, you won't go back. Guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.